Most people are waking up stiff, feeling bloated after they eat, and by 2 p.m., they feel so tired that they feel like they need to take a nap. While the average person thinks it's just getting older, it's not. It's inflammation and it's quietly running in the background of your body right now. And in today's video, I'm going to show you 5 signs your body is chronically inflamed. And number 3 is the one that no one talks about, but almost everyone is dealing with. And by the way, my name is Dan Go. I've been a health coach for 20 years. I owned a gym for 11 of those. And for the past 9 years, I've been helping high achieving entrepreneurs transform their bodies with ease and minimal stress. And the one thing I notice with most clients who come to me is chronically high inflammation. But what exactly does that mean? Inflammation is your immune system doing its job. But when you get a cut like this, it swells, it heals, and then it shuts off, and that's a sign of good inflammation. Now, the problem is when it never shuts off. It just keeps burning low and quiet day after day. That's chronic inflammation, and when left alone, it can slowly ruin your body from the inside out. And one of the first signs of chronic inflammation is waking up stiff in the morning. And I'm not talking about that kind of stiffness. I'm talking about your knees, your low back, and your entire body feeling locked up before your feet even hit the floor. While you sleep, your immune system floods your joints with inflammatory messengers. So by morning, everything feels swollen and tighter. And this makes a lot of people blame their age, but a 40-year-old body without chronic inflammation does not wake up stiff like most people. And one of my clients, James, was sure his morning stiffness was just wear and tear. He actually pushed back hard when I told him it was most likely inflammation. So we ran his blood work and it confirmed that he was in a chronically inflamed state. So we switched up his diet and added a few protocols, which I'm going to be mentioning at the end of this video, to manage his stress. And 90 days later, the stiffness is basically gone. Now, sign number 2 of a body that is suffering from chronically high inflammation is feeling bloated after every meal. And it could be eating anything, chicken and rice, plain salad. It doesn't matter what the makeup of the meal is. If it always makes you bloated, then there's something wrong happening inside. Now, one of my clients, Paul, was eating about as clean as it gets, but he still felt bloated every single afternoon. And he was sure it was the food, but it wasn't. When we dug in, we found 2 things. Yes, his gut was inflamed, but also he was barely eating any fiber. So we did 2 simple things. First, we got his fiber up with psyllium husk because your gut bacteria turns fiber into compounds that actually calm the gut lining down. Then we also added polyphenols, which is the good stuff that you find in foods like berries and dark chocolate, to help tighten the lining back up and cool that inflammation down. A few months later, the bloating actually became a thing of the past. Now, before I get into number 3, I want to give you something. My team and I put together the exact protocol we use with our clients to crush inflammation at the source. If you want it, comment the word healthy below and I'll send it to you. Sign number 3 is the one that a lot of people deal with, and it's brain fog. So here's the scenario. Your memory starts to fail you a little bit, and you may lose your words mid-sentence, kind of forgetting what you were talking about in the first place. Maybe you forget someone's name. A lot of people call this stress, or they call it being busy, or they call it being tired, but here's what's really going on. The same inflammation in your body can actually reach your brain and mess with how your brain cells talk to each other. When those signals get noisy, thinking feels like you're walking through the mud. Jeff was running a company and he thought he was just burnt out. He was a sharp guy, but he found himself suddenly missing meetings by accident, and he found that his memory wasn't what it used to be. He was ready to accept it as getting older, but we ended up bringing his inflammation down, and within a few weeks, he told me that his head felt clear for the first time in years. Now, cognitive decline is a canary in the coal mine, and usually it means that you're dealing with a body that has high inflammation. Now, sign number 4 is any disease ending in itis. I'm talking about arthritis, tendinitis, colitis, gastritis, sinusitis. Itis literally means inflammation. If your doctor has ever handed you a diagnosis ending in itis, they've already told you that your body is inflamed. What most people don't realize is that regardless of the inflammation flaring up, whether it's in your joints or your gut, it's often a smoke alarm going off for a whole body problem. Now, my client Carl had been dealing with tendinitis for as long as he could remember, and he treated it like a local injury. So he would put it in the brace, he would rest it, he would put ice on it. Once you treated the whole body inflammation instead of just one spot, the flare-ups actually started to happen less often, to the point where he actually forgot that he had tendinitis in the first place. Now, the final sign of chronic inflammation is that no matter how much you sleep, you always feel tired all the time. Chronic fatigue is a serious issue, and it doesn't matter how much sleep you get or how much coffee you drink. If you still feel like you're running on 60% of your energy, it is a sign that your body is most likely chronically inflamed. So deep inside your cells, you have these little engines that make your energy. And when the body is inflamed, those engines get worn down and you can't make the energy the way they should. And it doesn't matter how long you sleep, the factory itself is running inefficiently. And Sharon was a lawyer who was working long hours and blamed her schedule for her energy dips. And she assumed that the exhaustion was just a price of a busy life, but it wasn't the schedule. It was the inflammation that was draining her at the cellular level. When we cooled it down, her energy came back without her having to change a single thing in her calendar. Now, it doesn't matter what anyone says, chronic inflammation is serious. Worldwide, about 3 out of 5 deaths are tied to chronic inflammatory diseases like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and cancers. Now, the trick is to stop chasing the symptoms. You have to stop treating the smoke and actually put out the fire. And here's how. First, we want to check your inflammation levels in the first place, and aside from the symptoms, there is a simple blood test called hsCRP. It's cheap, and most doctors can order it, and it can give you an actual number of how much low-grade inflammation is in your body. So instead of you just guessing from the symptoms, you get a real reading you can track and lower over time. Once you know your inflammation levels, you actually want to fix what's driving it. And for a lot of people, what's driving it is the thing that happens underneath, which is your metabolic health. And that's just how well your body handles fuel, from your blood sugar to your blood pressure, your triglycerides, to even your waist size. Only about 1 in 8 American adults are actually metabolically healthy, and you can try every tactic in the world, but it's building on a cracked foundation until you fix your metabolic health. And downstream of fixing your metabolic health comes from your habits and behaviors. So how much processed food are you taking in? How much sleep are you getting? What is the quality of that sleep? And how are you handling stress? How often do you actually move during the day? These are all pillars of living a healthy life and fighting chronic inflammation, and each one either feeds it or starves it. So here's what I want you to do. Go back through these 5 signs and be honest with yourself about how many you've got. 1 is worth paying attention to, 3 or more, and it's your body waving a flag that things need to change. And if you want the exact protocol we use to bring inflammation down at the source, comment healthy below and I'll send you the free guide. Now remember, you're not broken and you're not just getting old. You've got a fire to put out. So stop treating the smoke and start putting out the fire. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.